Our very first story for the evening. This is just kind of an op-ed. How many of you guys have been hearing about all of these AI companies being sued? If you have heard about all of these AI companies being sued, please give me like a robot emoji in the comments, okay? Um, Now, I've been telling you guys for several weeks, one of the largest AI companies, Anthropic AI. And what does Anthropic do? They basically make AI systems that they train other AI systems. And Anthropic had a large class action lawsuit that was lodged against them by hundreds of thousands, thousands of authors saying that, they ripped off the material to train their their AI machine. And it's like it's not even that, they purchased the information. It was that they had scraped this information, gotten pirated copies of things, and were using it to train their AI, right? So they were about to go to trial, but then there was a settlement, okay? The Anthropic settled with this class action lawsuit for 1.5 billion dollars. Hello, D. 1.5 billion, not million, billion, which and it worked out to about $3,000 per work that was violated, and there were about 500,000 identified violated works, right? But here's the thing: the judge who was presiding, or who was going to preside over this case, when they came to him and said, "Hey, judge, we figured it all out. Anthropic said they're going to drop a billy and we're done." The judge said, "Oh, no, 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 no. Anthropic is trying, they are planning to pay for those that they have identified. But what about those works that weren't identified? What are the systems that you're going to put in place to make sure that each and every author whose work was violated gets their recompense, right?" So Anthropic has to go back to the draw board. They have to figure out a way of how are they going to identify every person who they violated in training their AI, right? So, and the thing is, you might say 1.5 billion. Yes, it is worth it to these AI companies to settle even with these billion dollar awards. Why? Because they can write them off as losses. Okay, so if instead of being judged, that this is what you call it, like a punishment from the court, if they settle with all of the people whose copyrights they violated, they can just write it off as a business loss. But the judge is like, no, 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 no. Even if you want to settle, I need to make sure that everybody who has been violated is going to get their just due. So the judge sent them back to the drawing board. But understand that these AI companies, they want to settle because they can write it off. Okay. Um, and usually when they do these settlements, they also make you sign like some airtight agreement that you can't talk about how they stole your stuff. And I feel like this judge is very anti AI and is like, nah, bro, this ain't what we doing on today. So good luck to everybody involved in that.